Okay, good morning, Year 5. Well, this time last week, you were writing your diary from Base Camp 4, and you were just about to embark on Death Zone. Well, good news, everybody. Congratulations. We did it. We made it to the top of Mount Everest. Here we are, just here. You probably can't see us, so I'm going to zoom in for you and show you the Year 5 team. There's me and Miss Gibbons giving you the thumbs up, and there's Mr. Mills showing off because we made it to the top of Mount Everest and we had to get a selfie there, didn't we? Okay, so this week what we want you to do is imagine that you have reached the very top of Mount Everest. You are literally on top of the world, and we want you to write a description about the incredible view that you will see. I've got some pictures here. Okay, to help you imagine what the view would look like, I've given you two links to use that are on your resources, and I'll show you them. So the first one is a really good YouTube video of somebody that has been up there. You notice the flags, the clouds, the peaks. It's absolutely beautiful, isn't it? It's like you're in heaven. And then I've also given you a panorama. So if we hold on, the screen should start to turn around. Okay, so you're going to be using these to help give you prompts about what you would see from the top of Mount Everest. Okay, so let's have a think. How are we going to plan it? So when we do description, we always focus on our senses. So what would you be able to see? How would you feel? You've just climbed the most difficult mountain in the world. How would you feel? What would you be able to hear? And what would you be able to touch? Now, I haven't put smell in there because I couldn't imagine what the top of Mount Everest would smell like. So I would probably ignore smell personally. Okay? And then for your plan, I've screenshotted some pictures from the YouTube video. Okay? And I would use these around it and I would pull apart what you could see and what you could go into detail for. So I'd pick about 5 things that you could describe. And remember, try and link it with the senses. So from the video I heard the wind, so that's going to be one thing that I'm going to describe because it's going to be very windy at the top of Mount Everest. I'm going to describe the clouds, the brightly coloured flags. So you notice everywhere else is blue and white, and then you've got these rainbow coloured flags at the top. The peaks, so that's the mountains, the snow, and within the snow I'm going to touch something on top of the mountain and describe the temperature. And then you have to describe how you're feeling. You've just got to the top of the highest mountain in the world. How might you be feeling? Okay, and it's going to be a really positive description, isn't it? So I picked my 5 things and then I've added some description with it. And remember, you can use a thesaurus for this, and you can use an online thesaurus to help you come up with more exciting vocabulary. So for the wind, I thought strong gusts of wind whistled loudly, and the wind or the air could be fresh, clean and pure. For the clouds, they kind of look smoky, but then I decided actually I like the fact that they look like candy floss. And I'm so high I feel as though I'm above the clouds, and it looks like heaven. For flags, I've put brightly coloured flags, they're waving wildly. The peaks, I've said that they look like they're dusted with white, like icing sugar. And then like icing on a cake as well. The snow, the temperature I've put is so cold it burns, it's freezing cold, it looks like a snowy winter world, doesn't it? Okay, and then my feelings, I've put that I feel proud, it's such an achievement, and I'm on top of the world. Okay, so you've planned your description out. Remember, we're only writing 1 paragraph today, so you're going to combine that all together. To help you, I've given you some fronted adverbials. These will avoid you saying I could see, I could feel, I could hear. Okay, and they will help your writing flow, so remember to use these. So I'll show you my piece of writing. Okay, it's not the longest because I've gone for really powerful sentences and I've gone for quality rather than quantity, which is what we're always striving for, aren't we? Okay, so let's have a read of my description on top of Mount Everest. The smoky clouds glided past me as I looked out over the horizon. Gusts of wind whistled loudly as our flags waved wildly, announcing our arrival. So I kind of imagine that the flags were almost like waving and saying hello to me. In the distance, I could see nothing but white peaks that looked like icing on a cake. The snowy world was mesmerizing. Completely exhausted, I bent down to touch the soft flakes. The freezing temperature burnt my hands. Snuggling into my thick coat, it hit me. We had done it. What an achievement! I could barely speak. I let the moment sink in. From the top of Mount Everest, I felt immense pride. I had made it. I was on top of the world. Okay? So you notice you feel really good after reading that, and you feel really proud, don't you, that you've made it to the summit. So, success criteria. What do we do to make our work successful? So, okay, so for structure, as it's only one paragraph, I've kind of just put things that you should talk about. So obviously what you can see, use your senses and how you would be feeling about finally reaching the summit. Successful features, you obviously need powerful adjectives because it's a descriptive piece. So the white peaks, the smoky clouds, front adverbials to various sentence starters. So in the distance, completely exhausted. They're from my list. Short sentences to create excitement. So I've used this quite a lot towards the end. I've put I could barely speak. I think I've done, I felt immense proud. I'd made it. I was on top of the world. And hopefully after reading that you're like, yes. Use of senses, so I've done sight, touch, beaten, noise and feeling. So I bent down to touch the soft flakes. I've done about the wind as well, could also add that in. And then my challenge, my English challenge is can you use figurative language? So there are things like similes, metaphors and personification. So similes when you use this word like. So I've used that the peaks are like icing on a cake. Well, the snow on top isn't actual icing, but it gives you a good image in your head, doesn't it? Okay? Metaphors is just when you say something is, and personification is where you give it human-like qualities. Okay? So let's have a look at the resources I've given you. So I've given you the 2 links, a panorama and a YouTube video. 100% watch those. My example, your planning sheet, and then I've just put those sentences at the top to remind you. Your front adverbials, to help you with your writing, success criteria, and your publishing paper. Okay? Just like I say every week, you're doing a fantastic job. Can't believe how close we are to the end of the term, so keep it up, year 5. Well done.